I'm not used to it after 40 some years, so it doesn't matter. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Today, we are going to be talking with my dear friend, Kristen Numen. She's going to be back with us, and we're going to be talking about teachings from Source, Kristen's NDE story. So some of what we're going to talk about today includes who are these circle children and how could they help you. We're going to talk about the power of joy, laughter, and the mind. We're going to have a fun and interactive conversation for sure, like always. And Kristen's going to be doing an activation and healing with light chord frequencies. So we're going to talk about what is light chord. And so for those of you who may not know Kristen, she's been on our show many times recently, and we love having her. And so we're so glad that she's back with us today. Kristen is known for being a multifaceted channel and healer. Using all of her psychic senses, she brings forward whatever is in your highest good at the time of the session. Some abilities include speaking with your spiritual team to assist in living your best life, mediumship, Kundalini, Reiki master and teacher, Rahanni Celestial Healer, spiritual activator and teacher. Kristen has a passion for healing others on multiple levels. And with the ability to scan a person and animals' energetic field, Kristen can bring forward information to assist on the physical, emotional, mental, energetic, and spiritual levels. Kristen's goal is to give you the tools as directed by your spiritual team and loved ones to live your best life and experience joy and health on a new level. So today I'm excited to talk about Kristen, but before that, what? If you are new to my channel, new to me, please do subscribe and on the YouTube channel, and join us for these wonderful conversations where these speakers are sharing their gifts, their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their activations, their healing, etc., so that we can all thrive and live our best lives. So please join me in welcoming Kristen back to the show. Kristen, welcome.
Thank you for having me. So good to see you.
You too, and you look fantastic.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk a lot about, what you've been through in the past couple of months, but also how that has, shaped your reality now and moving forward, right?
Yes.
So, some people may not know, because I'll be honest, I didn't find out about what happened until like a week or two after, because I was not always on Facebook. I was moving, I was, all that stuff, right? So I didn't know. And then suddenly it's like, what happened? Yeah. Are you okay? What happened? So all that stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Mm-hmm. And so I want to start off with, whatever you feel comfortable speaking about, right? So this is teaching from Source, and some of this information is what you received during your NDE. And let's talk about NDE in case people don't know what that is.
Yes. So thank you so much again for having me on. For all of you that don't know, an NDE is a near-death experience. This just happened on November 3rd, 2023. So it is very raw, and I can see everybody, especially my mom, Doris. So I'm trying not to look at you because it makes me cry even more. So there'll be a lot of tears. I'm very well prepared. So, but this also really does help me heal from the trauma as well. I'm very big with talk therapy. That does help and really does help me personally. So, and we all navigate traumas and everything differently, right? So I want to be open with that and how I'm navigating it. So, for those that aren't aware, I do have electrical issues with my heart. I've had it for, I think, almost 20 years now. I honestly was told by my guys that I've had it much earlier. It just wasn't diagnosed. So I have a heart rate that goes very fast, more than 120 beats per minute. It's a total drum solo in there. So I have skipped beats, arrhythmias, tachycardia, all that fun stuff. So I've had several surgeries, and the last time I was on a Laura's show, I just came back from having my 4th heart surgery that did not work out the way we wanted it to. So I still have, all of those arrhythmias and everything. But what was interesting is on the spiritual journey, because I awakened spiritually in the summer of 2016. So on this journey, you get messages from spirit and everything. And I wound up telling a couple of friends that something was going to happen to me, but I didn't know what. And the interesting thing was I was fascinated with NDEs for a couple of months before this actually happened. So very close to when it was happening, I was fascinated with it. And then I got freaked out by it and I stopped watching them all because subconsciously I really knew what kind of something was going on, but I didn't know what. And we get scared, right? So I didn't want to open that door. But on when I was talking to one of my friends, she actually sent me a message, and it was a snapshot of what we discussed. And she said, look what you sent me on October 30th of 2023. And what it said was, I had messaged her and I said, I heard a woman's voice speak to me this morning. And she said this whole paragraph, but the only thing that I remembered was, it's about it's time, it's happening. Like something like that. And then a man said something, and I don't remember anything the man said at all. But then on November 3rd, on my husband's birthday, is when my NDE happened. So to say that our life is so divinely orchestrated is an understatement. My husband is always up and out at work already. In the morning, I had my final group channeling class that morning at 10 o'clock. And it was, you know, in the morning when I got up, I was feeling good. It was one of my good mornings. I didn't feel sick or anything like that with my palpitations. It was one of my better mornings. So my husband took off that day for his birthday. And my daughter, who's 21, decided she wasn't going to go do something that she was. So she was home as well, and she's never home either. So at about 8:15 I had gone into the shower, and the only thing that I remember in the physical body was facing the shower. And then all of a sudden, what I experienced was, I knew something was wrong, and I couldn't verbally express something was wrong because it was too quick. So I leaned against the shower wall, and that's when I came out of my crown, and my spirit faced my body, and I watched myself slide down and fall over and hit my head on the marble floor. And the dogs reacted because they were on the bed, and my husband said, well, whatever you did, you got the dog's attention, Kristen, and ran over, and I was turning colors and everything, yelled for Emily. So he had to do constant chest compressions on me to keep my heart beating, because my heart had stopped and was in cardiac arrest. So when I came out of my body, I knew exactly what was happening. So this spiritual work that we do really does help us prepare for a beautiful transition into spirit. There was no pain. And the interesting thing, because being a medium, for those of you out there that are mediums and connect with spirit, spirit had always told me when I channeled for other people, there was a dog that told me specifically that was hit by a car. And then several other people that I channeled in spirit, they would bring forward their messages, and they would always make sure to say to me, they always want to make sure, especially the dog, please let my mom know that there was no pain, God took me out. But they would face me and have a conversation with me and say, Kristen, you feel no pain, you're taken out. So they knew years before this happened what was going to happen. And I realize that now, thinking back on, I'm going through journals of things that I wrote down from sessions. And it's really, I'm dumbfounded by it, honestly, and how beautiful the connection is with these souls that have transitioned, and they wanted to help me and give me some ease somehow. But I came right out and faced myself and saw myself. I only saw snippets of Kristen, basically. So I saw myself fall. I saw myself turn purple. But my husband said you turn blue and then purple. I couldn't see Ray's face. They won't let me see his face. I did see my daughter Emily's face, and she was just steadfast and focused. She's just like her dad. She's very good under that kind of pressure. And then I zoomed into the ambulance, and I can see them breathing for me. And that was the last of being in this realm, on the earthly realm. And I crossed right over. Now this is where the waterworks are going to come, because the amount of love, I'm going to try and express it to you, but the emotions are really needed, honestly, to get across how powerful this is. When I crossed over, I didn't go through a light tunnel. I don't remember any of that. But I went right to source. And source is when you see the sun set or the sun rise, and it's that beautiful, full yellow color. That's God. God is masculine and feminine and this big ball of glorious energy. And when I was there, I remember being so excited and happy because I do remember what it was like not having a body. We're much lighter because, first of all, you don't have your body. But the biggest thing with being with Source, when I was just dancing in front of Source, was I had none of the low vibrational emotions. The guilt, the shame, the jealousy, all that low vibe stuff that humans that we carry, that our egos carry, oh, that was gone. And I remember thinking, wow, I forgot what this was like. And it was humorous to me. And it was, wow, look at this. So first of all, let's just say, congratulate yourself on how you're doing in this now moment, how you've done your entire life, because it is no joke coming here on this earth plane and carrying emotions and learning how to navigate them. So give yourself grace for what you've been through, what you're going through, because you are navigating it beautifully. Even though you might seem like a hot mess, I promise you, God is proud. Because that was one of the biggest conversations with Source. And I always say he because that's my Catholic upbringing. But God was so proud. It was just you are amazing. Look at the great job that you did. I mean, there was no shame. You know how when you maybe do something when you're a kid and you're afraid to approach your parents because you don't want to upset them? It wasn't like that at all. I was just totally, there's no shame. So anything and everything that you've done, you are totally loved by God with open arms. So I actually wrote everything down because my mind still gets a little hinky and I need to focus because of everything. So feeling that light, having no body was powerful, and how proud Source is of all of us. And it's interesting because I'll be talking about the circle children, but I realized in that moment that it was God that brought forward the circle children to me several years ago. This journey started several years ago because you know how in our beautiful egoic minds, we like to learn something by picking it up and reading it, and start to finish, you can look it up and find the answers. But when you get into spirituality, it is so frustrating because something will happen and you may not understand what's going on. You may not get the answer right away. You might have a vision of a being and have no idea what this being is. And you can ask questions and everything, of course, and you can get some things there, yes. But sometimes, and especially on my journey, I had to wait until I got over here, until I finally found the pieces to bring me back full circle. So we're always going in this spiral, right? So the other thing is how childlike God is. And what I mean by that is pure joy, pure love. God's funny. And I always thought it was one of my biggest faults because when I graduated high school and I went right into working, I thought, okay, being an adult meant I needed to not be goofy and silly and everything else. I needed to be, I don't know, stuffy. I don't know. I guess that was my opinion of what it was at the time. And that's just not me. So I always thought it was my biggest downfall was being childlike. And then I learned from this experience that I got that from him, from Source, that I got to carry here with me. Which is amazing to realize that when you think it's your biggest downfall, could be your greatest gift. So the rays of light. The interesting thing too is when you have friends in the spiritual community, and I would talk with them and they said, I saw you like this, I saw you like that. And one friend said, I saw you looking like the sun. And I didn't talk about anything just yet. And I said, let me validate that for you. So when I was talking with Source, and there's no body at that point, I'm totally this ball of light. And there's no head. I mean, there's no hands, there's no fingers, but there's an awareness of it. Like you just bring your awareness there and you look. But all of a sudden, when I was having conversations with God, these rays of light were coming on me everywhere. And I looked like the sun. And God said, look at each ray of light. They are prayers from your loved ones. And he was telling me, look at each light. I could actually look at it. Now, I don't have memory of this, but I remember God telling me, look at the ray of light, and you can hear, like I could hear the whispering, but I could actually go to the person praying for me and see them. All of these rays of light. And it was Kristen, Kristen, Kristen. I could hear it. Some were louder than others. And a few of my friends were like, I was not nice when I was praying because I was telling you, get back. So some were louder than others, which was funny to me on the other side. So the other thing that God was telling me, I had a life review and I didn't remember it until I was talking to my friend Susan Kennard, which she's been on here so many times and is just this wonderful, wonderful light. And it really helped talking with her, because that's when I discovered that talk therapy really helps for me, because the guide said more memories will come forward. You won't get full memory back because there's a lot of things that we're not meant to bring back here. And then other things, yes. So I didn't remember at first having a life review, and then I could see it in my mind's eye and remember that when I was with God, I could see this life review, but it was all good things, which I thought was interesting. I didn't see anything, because you can feel how the other person felt. So the life review wasn't to feel me, it was to feel that moment with my mom, that moment with my husband, that moment with my daughter, whoever it was. And I could feel the joy and the happiness of that person. And it's such a gift. So whatever you do and whatever you put out there to others, know that it matters for that person. A small act of kindness is huge to spirit and to that individual. Okay. That was, because that's one of the things I say is I want to bring heaven to earth to others. I want to bring joy. Never worrying about, because when you have a session with someone, you can get nervous. I know when I pull cards for myself, I would get nervous, like, okay, what card am I going to pull? Is it going to be unwise choice or, something like that? So I don't worry about that, because the guides have such a lighthearted way of coming forward. And after my NDE, I feel that even more. So even the things I don't want to hear, like my Lola bug, my dog, needs to have surgery because she has a little cancerous lump. And I knew it. I knew it when I found it. I was recovering and I could feel it on her side. And when I took her to the vet yesterday, she's like, yeah, it needs to be removed. But I felt this overwhelming sense of calm because I caught it early, because my vet is 2 minutes from the house. And I trust them. And it's just, I just feel so much more calm. So, and understand too, I know we say this a lot, and this is the last part I really want to share. There's so much that happened, but life really is a gift. It's a gift for us to experience, because I wouldn't know joy without the opposite. You can't know light without the dark. And then it brings that overwhelming sense of gratitude of, look at me, I went through this. look at you, what you went through, how wonderful, how strong you are. You may not think it at the time, but you are doing beautifully, and know that we are just so lovingly supported with spirit. And it's so funny because we always say the other side. And the interesting thing is it's right here. When I came out of my crown, I faced myself, I watched myself. Yes, I just skipped over the veil and was with spirit, which is still right here. So please understand how much of a gift this life is and how important you are, that we each have our own frequency, sound, and tone, because that's God. God is that sound. He's the sound of Om, and he has a frequency, and we all have frequencies. We're all these light beings, and we each, which is our fingerprint, our unique snowflake signature. So only you can bring certain aspects into this world, which is so important and vital. Because I remember thinking when I was working at the bank for 15 years, I thought I was just Kristen. I wasn't really making an impact. I wasn't super smart, or I just didn't feel any of that. I didn't feel like I was doing, I wish I could do this. I would watch the Long Island Medium and all that kind of stuff. And I never thought I was important. And then having this moment with Source is like, but you are, no matter where you're at. You can work at a bank, you can work at McDonald's, wherever you're at, you are important. With everything that you do, that smile that you give someone could really lift someone's spirits in ways that you don't realize. So that is a part of the NDE story that I wanted to share.
That is so powerful. I can't really speak very much or very well. I've been trying to hold all my emotions in because I don't want to be crying all over the call, but that was so powerful. And I just want to thank you for coming back and sharing. I think a lot of people need to hear that, because sometimes when we are going through challenges and etc., which we all have, there are moments when we're like, oh my God, what's the point? Like, what? It's like, is there ever going to be anything good? And even when I do good things, to me, it's like, I don't feel like I'm doing any good. That's a different whole story. We're not going into coaching or healing about that. I'm just saying sometimes that's how we feel, right?
Yes.
But just knowing, I mean, I know it, but when we're in those moments, we forget, right? So thank you for that reminder and that powerful experience that you just had. It's interesting. It's interesting because this morning, I'm finishing my last term for my degree, right? And one of my courses that I'm taking is religion, and it's like death and the afterlife. And so when we had to do brief introduction, so I wrote, I'm interested in this course because I really want to know about the afterlife, what happens after we die. And then here we are talking about an NDE. So it's like, that's so interesting. What a coincidence. Not, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even last night when I was going to bed, I've been going to bed really late, guys, like 1 o'clock in the morning, just because, I don't know, I'm crazy. But even when I was going to bed last night, I was doing some healing and connecting to Source and everything. And it was like so magical when we allow ourselves that time and opportunity to actually connect with Source, to be with Source and to be Source. And so just your experience with Source is like, it's so powerful. I can hardly wait till you write a book about it. I know you will. So it's like, you have to. And my parents don't watch my shows or anything, but I am going to ask my dad to actually watch the beginning of this, because he had asked me a couple of weeks ago, about NDEs. What are they like? What do you think they are? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And so, we had this big, long conversation. So now at least I can tell him, hey, here's somebody I know personally, me, not just somebody in a book, but somebody I know who had an NDE. And then you can take a look and see, how does that resonate, right? So I think this was, so helpful. I think for a lot of people, and people on the call right now are crying, because just hearing your story but hearing the connection and that love and support from source that is always there, but we need to be reminded and we need to hear that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know it's hard. It's hard for you to verbalize everything. I get it.
Yes, it's hard. It's the words, because sometimes there's no words that really match that strong of an emotion. But the other thing too, because the guys are forward and they're like, please reiterate, there's no pain.
Yeah.
So when you do pass, it's I didn't feel anything. There wasn't like a suction cup that pulled me out. There was nothing. I was just facing myself and going, I died. Like this is it. Like I totally realized. And if you see someone, this is the biggest thing they wish to say and reminded me. If you see someone in pain, a lot of times, remember mind, body, spirit. Our physical body can be alive without our spirit in it. And the biggest thing, my daughter is very big on eyes. If you look at someone's eyes, it's not just brown or green, it's the universe, this nebula that's inside the eyes and all of these different flecks and colors. So Emily is very familiar with what my eyes look like. And she has a lot of eyeball pictures on her phone. And when I was brought to the hospital, I wasn't breathing on my own, and I was unresponsive. I was intubated. I think it was 17 hours total that I was unresponsive and I couldn't breathe on my own. So I was intubated and my eyes had opened and it was just a reaction of my body. But my daughter said, you are not there. So the eyes are the window to the soul. When you hear that, it is truth. So when you see the glossed over eyes, the soul is out, which can also happen with dementia and things like that too. So a person goes in and out. Yeah. So, and I was not there at the time. And that was validation for me. And it was a shock to my daughter, of course, seeing that, because her mom's eyes weren't normal. She could see that difference. So
yeah, absolutely. Wow. Wow. So yeah, I'm typing in the chat. People are still crying. Right. So, oh my goodness. So everybody take a deep breath, have some water.
Have some water.
Take a deep breath and have some water. It's all good, right? It's all good. Yes. And it was a gift. It was a blessing for you to have that experience.
Yes.
Right? Yes, absolutely. All right. So let's talk about the circle children. Who are they and how can they help us?
So the circle children, this is one of the things that I said I was told a few years ago. I was always afraid of psychic children because of social media and movies. They always make the children out to be really creepy and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I was very afraid of psychic children. So I would have these visions of these cute kids. They're no more than 13 years old. But I was afraid. So I had a vision with one of my guides. And interestingly enough, because I was a banker, it's always in a banking setting. I was sitting in the office and my guide was sitting across from me, and there was this huge window, this huge glass. And on the other side were 5 children. And one of them, who is my main circle child guide that comes forward, that I still don't have a name for yet. He has the most ice blue eyes. They're just gorgeous. And my guide was saying, look at these children. Don't just look with your egoic self, feel with your heart center. And my guide, he was coaching me through it, which was amazing to me in this lucid dream. And I said, I just feel so comfortable. And he goes, it's your ego mind that is programmed to fear because of things that you've watched. So then all of a sudden, the one boy who is the oldest, with the blue eyes, ice blue eyes, came and sat next to me. And that was one vision. And then they kept coming up. And I remember asking some people in the spiritual community, do you know what the circle children are? Because when I started this journey, everything was Google. You Google it, who are the Pleiadians? I could Google that. Who are the Andromedans? And then it got to stuff that they're like, you can't Google this anymore. There comes a point where you have to trust yourself on the spiritual journey, that you're not wrong because you don't find it on Google. Maybe you're the one that brings it up, and then it's on Google because of you, and you can help others with it. So they are the purest form of self. They are happiness, pure joy, magic, wonder, laughter, all of that. They work with Kuan Yin, and they come from the heart centers where I feel them. So the main thing with the circle children is, no matter what kind of childhood you've had, be the child you didn't get to be now. Who says you can't go outside and skip? I'm 44 years old. I still do that. And my husband will see me and I'll jump. I always talk to my students. My biggest thing is crunching the leaves. And I do like a little hop and I'll crunch on the leaves, or just, all those type of things. Watch your animals. My dogs get the zoomies, especially when it starts getting cold. Lola especially. It's time to come inside, and she does like 50 laps. So just playing with them and being goofy, and allow your inner child, no matter what your childhood was. The circle children can help you heal that by also allowing you to be what you didn't get at that time. So draw, color. It's a form of therapy as well. It's a form of meditation. So do all of these different things. The other thing too is working with Kuan Yin. You know how children are, if you talk to a child, they're very proud of themselves. Look what I did. Isn't this amazing? And they're amazed by their friends. It's just so pure of heart, right? So speak with your body the same way. Speak to yourself like a child would speak to the self. If Kristen's ego were to come out, that ego would be a bully. How many times do I say, oh, you think you can pull that outfit off? Oh, look at my hair today. What is this zit on my face? All the different things. You can't do that. You're not smart enough. All these different things that I would say to myself. Your cells hear all of it. That's the other thing. I don't have a memory as to what occurred in my NDE with this, but I am very aware of everything that makes up this body. So when you sit and you can be in that type of meditative state where you feel sleepy, but you're just not falling asleep, I call it napitating. So I don't meditate, I napitate, but I don't fall asleep. And I just sit there and I just be with myself, this body. We always want to connect with spirit. I know I do. I like magic and woo-woo and fun and visions and downloads. But what a joy it is to be with yourself and listen to what you're saying. Kristen's got a lot to say, and I hear her out now. I used to snub her off. Now I try and hear her out more. But every cell is listening and doing what you're telling it to do. And you may not even realize what you're telling it to do. So affirmations are very big because you're talking to the depths of your mind, the subconscious, conscious, and unconscious mind. So I love affirmations because I'm able to talk kindly to my body. But the main thing is, I won't just say I love myself because my ego goes, oh, right. I'll say I love myself more and more with each and every day. My ego can't argue with that. So saying affirmations, having that gratitude, doing things that bring you joy, these circle children are very powerful, and I'm curious if others have actually witnessed them. The children that I see have more modern clothes on, but some can actually see where they have more vintage clothes on, like little dresses, things like that. So these children can look, they're no more than 13 years old, but they are that pureness of source. And Kuan Yin, of course, that comes through with the heart chakra, and she's all about children and healing as well. But you can always call them in, and I'm curious what you get when you tap into them, when you do.
Awesome. Wonderful. So somebody was just asking in the chat, do you have any special affirmations that you use?
Oh, yes. Let's go through my mind bank and see if I can, because you know when someone says, what's your phone number, and you can't think of it. So let me think for a moment. I love that my body knows what to do with food in perfect comfort and alignment. Always perfect comfort and alignment, because I've said it before and got very sick. Okay, thank you. I'm asking my guides to remind me. So that's a tip too. If you ever forget something or you need something to come to mind, just say, guides, can you bring that back to me? Guides, can you help me remember these affirmations? I love that I am the highest and best version of myself, that I feel comfortable in my body and in my being. And I love that I'm able to help others in so many ways. And I do like this whole thing in the morning. That was actually what I was doing. I was facing the shower, and I left, they thought it was shampoo that I left in my hair, but it was conditioner. So could you imagine, after like 20 hours, when I was finally able to take a shower, which was longer than that, my hair was super soft because I had conditioner stuck in my hair. And but I left my conditioner in my hair, and I rub my eyes, and I do this thing where there's this little bump, like a little button, if you feel it, like below your eyes. Don't push too hard, but underneath your eyes, there's like this little button, and I just gently hold it. And this, to me, my guide said, activates a part of the mind to bring in positivity. I don't question, I didn't even research it, I just do it because it resonates fully with me. And I always say, I love that all my soul fragments come back to me. I love that I am limitless. I love that I'm living my heaven on earth, and I'm able to spread heaven on earth to others. 'Tis done, 'tis done, 'tis done. Thank you, show me. And I have like a plethora of other things that I'll say. And then I remember going to my, what's interesting is when you go to doctor's appointments, play with your energy and play with your guides. Because when I would go to an acupuncturist, and he is very woo-woo, so he's very spiritual as well as being this acupuncturist, which is just a beautiful combination. And he would say to me before we started, what did your guide say to you today? And I said, they were telling me to press on the inner part of my eye right over here, and just gently press. And he actually said, I'll probably get it wrong, but it's an acupressure point that really helps to release fear, low vibrational energy. So after I do my positive affirmations, I push on this little point over here, and I say, I release any limiting beliefs from my subconscious and conscious mind. I release fear, anxiety, and worry. I release jealousy and anger. I release procrastination, because I'm Kristen, and I procrastinate out of fear. Hi. So I love that there's no judgment. I release judgment of myself and judgment of others. Those are things that I say when I push on those spots. I know that was a long explanation, but
no, that was beautiful. So helpful. Thank you. And yeah, and just, about these points too, so thank you for that. That's something we can all start to incorporate into our routines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Awesome. Hold on. So Lisa's saying, so when I touch those bumps under my eyes and hold my finger on them, I get this strange feeling. Is that normal? I
It
didn't feel
is.
the bump myself.
It is for me. I remember when I started, you don't want to press hard. It's just very gently. And it's like when you open a chakra, it feels weird, right? It's a weird expansion. You can get the ascension flu with it too. So you can have these certain feelings because something is opening. So we have these chakras, nadis. We have these cities and continents and different highways and roads everywhere in our body. And that's one of them. So pushing on it, really be opening something up for you. And that also, it talks about giving and receiving, releasing, that type of thing too.
Yeah. So just breathe, right? Just breathe and stay calm, etc. And ground. Absolutely. It'll be
water.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So I know does that get in touch with the frontal lobe? This part and this part? No, I don't know. Could be.
Yeah.
Good, maybe.
However it works for you.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I know we're going to do an activation today. So do you want to do the activation first, or do you want to talk about the packages first?
Whatever you prefer doing.
All right, so let's talk about the packages first, then we'll do the activation, and then if we have time, we'll take a few questions. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen in 1 second. So give me 1 minute here. I'm going to share my screen. And you know what? I make this mistake every time, which I'm not going to make this time. So it's like, I'm going to put the link here, and just in case people want the link. All right. So let me share my screen. You should be able to see my screen now. Yep, awesome. So Kristen has 3 packages today. The package A is a 1-hour personal reading session. Package B is a 1-hour personal reading session and a 45-minute healing session. And package C is 2 spiritual life coaching sessions and a 45-minute light cord healing and activation session. So you've done these 1-hour personal reading sessions with us before many times, but let's just briefly go over it in case there's somebody here who has, it's their first time.
Yes, absolutely. So a 1-hour personal reading session, it's really what it is you want to focus on. Some people have a focus, Akashic records, life situations, spiritual guidance from your team. Whatever is in your highest good is what's going to come through at that time. Sometimes it's mediumship that comes through as well. So whatever comes through, really all in that hour is what I'll do.
Yeah. Awesome. And so that 1-hour personal session is $111, and of course a payment plan is available. And if you're an Inner Circle member, please use your gift code. And then package B is the 1-hour personal reading session plus a 45-minute healing session. So let's talk about that. We've never offered that before.
Yes, I'm excited because I actually have different packages. I felt fancy because I have an A, B, and C package, but I really felt drawn to doing this. So I am a Kundalini Reiki practitioner, Rahanni Celestial Healer, and now since this NDE, which is a whole story in itself, I have this rainbow light cord healing as well. So it's seeing what your energy and your guides will let me know what will be the most impactful for you at that time. And sometimes I include a couple of them together. So like yesterday, I did a Kundalini Reiki and the rainbow light cord healing interlinked together for the session. So, but it really helps on mind, body, spirit on all levels. What is meant to be healed at that time, what you're ready for. Because remember, I'm the facilitator and you're the actual healer. So it's amazing what actually comes forward during the sessions.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Expect the unexpected. That's the biggest thing.
So my question for this package B is, so then do you do the whole 1-hour and 45-minute sessions together, or do you do the 1-hour reading separately and the 45-minute healing session separately?
These are all separate. So booking a session is one thing, and then actually booking a 45-minute healing. I used to do them distance, but being one-on-one and being able to record this for you too, this is recorded. So you can do the sessions again, especially like the healing sessions, and you can get something different from it every time, which is really interesting.
Awesome. So package B is 188 and there is a payment plan available. And then package C, this is again something brand new, is 2 spiritual life coaching sessions and a 45-minute light cord healing and activation session. So let's talk about that.
Yes. So spiritual life coaching. Do you need assistance? Do you need life coaching assistance? What is it in your life that you need assistance with? Are you looking for spiritual guidance and opening your gifts and how to utilize them? Is it a mixture of both? Whatever comes up in these 2 separate sessions, and I like to space them out. So not like one week, one the next week. The guides like to see how it is, what your habits are. So that way, when you have the first session, we get a lot of things out, a lot of tools for your tool belt to assist you with whatever it is that you're needing. And then the next one, only like a month-ish later. So that way, what are your habits? What can we celebrate with you? What can the guide celebrate with you that you're doing? And what other tools can we give you to assist you if you're having some issues? That type of thing.
Awesome. And then the 45-minute light cord healing and activation session. Obviously, we're going to talk about that today a little bit more, but let's what's in the session for them.
Yes. So the rainbow light cord, and I wrote this down because it is this healing modality that I received from God and the Seraphim. This has been over the past couple of years that this has happened. And when I agreed to come back, I was infused with the energy of rainbow light cord. I was taking a shower and they said rainbow light cord. That's the name of the energy healing. But this is the pureness of source coming through on the rainbow frequency. However it is that it can help you, again, mind, body, spirit. It's helping to elevate your frequency. It's helping to release any stagnant energy, low vibrational energy, and help you live your best life. Help you really open that heart chakra as well to truly understand what that self-love is as well. So it's this light cord healing plus an activation, whatever that activation is for you. A lot of people think activations are for third eye or crown chakra or something like that. Yes, it can be that, or it can be multiple things. It could be an activation to elevate your frequency in certain chakras as well. So it's always fun to see what presents itself in each session.
Awesome. And so package C is 511, and of course payment plan is available. And if you're an Inner Circle member, please use your gift code. There are some wonderful testimonials here on the page, so please do read them as well. And so just to recap, package A is a 1-hour personal reading session with Kristen. Package B is a 1-hour personal reading session with Kristen plus a 45-minute healing session. And then package C is 2 spiritual life coaching sessions and a 45-minute light cord healing and activation session. Whew. So please take a look at these, see which one resonates with you. And like I said, there are payment plans available for all 3. And if you're an Inner Circle member, please use your gift code. All right, so let's go back. Let me stop sharing this 1 second, and let's go back to the main screen here. So I know we want to do a healing and a light cord healing and activation. So let's talk a little bit first about what is light cord. So we talked briefly about it, but is there anything else that you want to add to that?
Yes, because this is one of those things where I had a series of events happen a few years ago, and I went, well, what was that? And then nothing else happened with it. And can I just tell you, I am wildly impatient. And this really, I am not the most patient person, but I have gotten way better. So a few years ago, I would have different energies that would pulsate through me. I would see guides with my physical eyes standing around my bed. A lot of grays, short and tall, mantis beings, angels, archangels, all of that. My higher self is a seraphim. So, and her name is Azra. So Azra would always come forward and I could feel the energy pulsating or see beings in my mind's eye that were working on me and I could feel the energy move. And there were certain periods where they were very intense and they said, this is for your upgrade. I didn't know what that meant at the time. And I just thought, okay, frequency upgrade. Well, one night I had a vision. It's always like 3 to maybe 6:30-ish in the morning is when I have these visions. So I had my eyes closed and all of a sudden I was walking into a chamber. It was like I was wearing a virtual reality headset. That is the only way I could say it, because I could look around and I could see my feet. I was looking around, but there were all of these vines. I was in this chamber with all of these vines. The vines were moving. I can see butterflies. I could see the vines were alive. The leaves, the flowers. And I was trying to figure out where I was, and I was so excited that I was looking around, and the guides, I don't know who, but took my head and moved it and then pushed me back in the center. They must have done this 5 times. So to say that guides have so much patience, I found it humorous, because I'm like, I'm sorry, and they would push me forward. So it was funny because I was so excited, I kept doing that. Then I fell asleep. No idea what happened. So I got frustrated. So fast forward to about a year-ish ago, I would wake up, and there was no reason for this. I do have a lot of health issues because of my heart. So it can affect my stomach. I can get nausea, digestive issues, all that kind of stuff, dizziness, all of that. But this is different. I had my mantis being show up and say, rest. And I saw sacred geometry in the background, and mantis being was standing right in the front and did his little arms up. And within minutes, I got a silent migraine, which I don't normally, I might feel a slight headache with it, but it affects your vision. And you'll see the aura and then it goes away. And sometimes I would get intense headache with it and others not. But they said that they were working on the gray matter in my brain to be able to house more frequencies. And then I would wake up at like 3 a.m. and would be violently ill for a few hours. And then I was totally tuckered out the rest of the day. And I would turn on every healing modality I had, but I would still get sick. And when I finally asked, what is this? They said, we're upgrading your body. So please understand, when you ask for upgrades in your body, you're changing and altering your frequency, your DNA and your cellular level. So it can make you sick, hence the ascension flu, right? Sometimes worse than another. So always in perfect comfort and alignment. But when I had my NDE and I agreed to come back, this I haven't talked about publicly, but when I agreed to come back, it was like, okay. And not only did I get to change my contracts, but they put this, I could feel my energy floating there. And they took these rainbow ribbons of energy, and they were just like DNA entwined around my being and was infusing my spirit. And they were working, I knew they were also working on Kristen, so my physical body, which to me is perfect scenario, because I was in an NDE and I was heavily sedated. So isn't that the prime time to start working on my physical body? Because I couldn't feel that pain of them altering things, because they had to change my frequency. So rainbow light cord healing is, again, a modality from God and the Seraphim that have attuned me over the past few years. The light cord frequencies are able to transform and transmute lower densities, bringing forward healing, cleansing, restorative, transformative energies. And helping you on all levels. And it's interesting because those of you out there that do Rahanni or Reiki or your own healing modalities, I like turning on each one. So I'll turn on Kundalini Reiki and I really feel it emanate from my hands. Rahanni feels different. When I turn on the rainbow light cord, I actually feel my heart is the beacon. It's just pulsating out. And it's really fascinating. So please explore your own gifts and your own magic and amazingness, because it truly is amazing when you sit, especially if you're clairsentient, if you're a feeler like I am. I'm really in tune to the body. So after I did have a defibrillator put in because of the experience I had. So that's a whole other story, but I felt this device go in. I can feel it is very much there. It's part of me now because I do a lot of my healing. So it's now part of me. It's one with me. And it is, the energy of the defibrillator is one of love and clearing and all of that as well. So that is rainbow light cord healing. And I am learning as I go with it too. So my team said that they would come forward and help show me when it's time to bring forward new ways of using rainbow light cord.
Awesome. Thank you. And we're always upgrading our healing modalities or healing work, right? So it's hardly ever the same as when we first get it, right? So yeah, good. Yep. Awesome. All right. So do we need to have an intention or anything?
So if you can get yourselves comfortable, and I always suggest watch Alara's replays, especially if there's like meditations and everything with it, because I know when I'm on, I can't get into that meditative state, but you know, when I listen to it afterwards, I can just let myself go. So, okay. You can have an intention as to what you want to focus on. If you're wanting to heal certain situations in your life, maybe it's something about your body. Maybe it's spiritual gifts. So we're going to do, thank you. Okay. They're starting to come forward. So if you just felt a shift, those are my guides that are coming forward. So calling on our guides of the highest good to please come forward. And we set the intention for the highest good for all, whatever is meant for us in this moment in time, healing your mind, your body, your spirit. We call forward the archangels of sacred protection, Archangels Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, and Raphael of the four directions standing in the corners of your room and space. See this beautiful platinum light filling the walls from these beautiful archangel beings, creating a sacred space. We call Archangel Sandalphon of the below space and Archangel Metatron of the above, having this beautiful Merkaba and triangle pyramid energy surrounding us. See that beautiful platinum light going above you in that triangle, going below you. That this is a safe space. Now let's grow our tree of connection. From the bottom of your feet, your earth star chakra, allow that to sink deep down like roots into Mother Earth, going down into the ground through the rubble, the granite, all of that, down, 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 deep into the core of Mother Earth. Gaia, we ask you to hold on to our energy, to anchor us with your love. Pull from us all that no longer serves, allowing us to grow stronger with each and every breath. We thank you. Growing the top of your tree, seeing these branches of energy just going everywhere above your crown chakra, stretching you out, up, 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 going everywhere, connecting you to all that is, to God, to source, to your guides of the highest. God, creator, all that is. It is commanded that you pull, clear, cancel, and delete on all levels and resolve on the history level. Any waywards, watchers, walk-ins, attachments, anything that does not serve our highest and greatest good, we send all up to unconditional love now. Please allow us to be pure, clear channels of light now and throughout our days, living our heaven on earth and spreading heaven on earth to others. 'Tis done, 'tis done, 'tis done. Thank you. Show me. Go to your heart center. Feel the heartbeat. Breathe in. Breathe out with a sigh. Breathe in light. Breathe out heaviness. Breathe in that prana, that energy. Breathe out everything that doesn't serve you. Asking our guides of the highest to please come close now. So if you would like, go ahead and do some ohms with me. I'm going to do 3 ohms, the sound of source. Let the ohm buzz in your mouth. You kind of put your teeth a little bit together. So you can emanate this buzz that just pulsates through your being, which also in turn helps to activate the pineal gland. Breathe in. Out. 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 Just breathe. You might get some palpitations, feeling that heart center open more. Let me turn on the energy and notice what you see, hear, feel, know. Breathe in, breathe out. Fully turn on the rainbow light cord. Just notice how you feel. There's no wrong way of feeling. Let's start at your crown. Going down from the crown, pulling away all that no longer serves. Third eye. Any tension in the face, I feel some people squinching their eyes, so let your eyes be soft and relaxed. Your jaw is unclenched. I feel tension in the jaw. The neck, the shoulders, the heart space. I'm going to focus on the back of the heart as well. So this is past this life and past lives, something that you're carrying and holding on to. Come down above the belly button to that solar plexus. That fire, that flame, going to the sacral. And the root chakra. Going into the hips as well with the root chakra. Hips, down the legs. Allowing all that no longer serves you to clear away. Balance some energies. Just take comfortable breaths as the light language and activation energy comes through. You might feel emotional. You might know what that emotion is from or not. Deshasanatye. Of energy pulsating in the heart chakra, third eye and crown for a lot of you. Putting my hands over yours, your left and your right. Knowing that you are worthy of receiving love, of receiving joy, of receiving happiness, contentment and peace. Balancing the giving and receiving. Breathe in and out. The guide's coming close to you now. Some of you might receive a gift when we ask for a message. Your message could be one word. Breathe in and out. Doing one more sweep of the energy. Wherever this activation is needed for you. Pushing up on both feet. Helping you ground. Might feel some chakras open up in your feet. Expansion. Breathe in. Breathe out. Going right to your heart space again. Feeling the miracle that is you. Knowing that you are worthy of all you wish to experience in this material realm. And you no longer need to carry those burdens. Breathe them out. Let's do a couple of breaths together, 2 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe normal and start feeling back into your body, moving your hands, your feet, your head, your shoulders, giving love and gratitude to our beautiful team, to our bodies, to Source. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes.
Hello.
Hello.
That was wonderful. That was powerful. At the very beginning, I have to say, I experienced something that I've never experienced before. It was a sensation in the back of my neck here, the occipital lobe part, which I'd never experienced before. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like a vibration,
Yeah.
And then after that, everything calmed down. Everything was good. I wish I could have or would have lain down. I think that would have been really nice for me instead of sitting, So I'm definitely going to do it again. I'm going to lie down. And the message that I got from my guides is like, and I even said, oh no, was patience. Patience. I was like, oh no, okay.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Hate when my guides do that. It's a joke between my guides and myself because patience,
Yeah, I know. I'm the same. It's like I don't have a patient bone or cell in my body. So it's like, oh my God. Okay. So how's everybody else doing? What did you experience? If you want to share in the chat, what message or gift did you receive? Yeah, and so I did receive a gift too. It's kind of like a shawl wrap kind of thing as well. Oh goodness, I can't even read yet. I experienced a red rose and counterclockwise tornado through my body. Oh, that's interesting. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Nina says, I just felt very light, and I thought that I smiled, I think she says. Lisa says, I felt pain on the left side of my head and my chest. It was pain. I did feel Chrissy's hands on me for the first time. Oh, nice. It's good that
That's
you
my
felt Chrissy's hands.
sister.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. It's my sister. And Nina, hello, I love you.
Lori said, my entire head felt like it was on fire. Interesting. So lots of activity.
Yeah.
Cindy says, thank you very much. That was beautiful. I felt a vibration tingling in third eye and crown chakra.
Mm.
And Sunita says, I feel a lot and see a lot. There's too much to write down, I think. And Linda says, I felt her hands on mine as well. Oh, nice. Good. So lots of wonderful experiences. So drink water. Oh, I didn't. So drink water.
Drink water. And the guides are saying, allow this energy. My energy is so woo all over the place right now. Let me use my pendulum. 24 hours, 48 hours. So for the next 48 hours, this energy will pulsate through your body. You might feel it randomly. So just be aware, you know, the window isn't open. There's not a breeze or something. You might feel heat or coolness. Sometimes my husband feels it feels like bugs. You know, you can get like kind of that feeling with energy. But it might pulsate in different areas. You might get like the third eye ache, things like that. So it's so important. Again, drink water, ground, be in your body, do things that bring you happiness and joy, have grounding like root vegetables and things like that too, I found help me, or like a tea, like a Tulsi holy basil tea or something too.
Awesome. So yeah, lots of people are still feeling the energies and movement. Amanda says, I felt all the field in the back of my head and neck. So we're connected. Amanda also received a stack of presents, nice, in red paper wrapping with black ribbons. Lots of energy. Good. Yeah, awesome. And Kim says, my word was love, and my vision was a little girl with blonde curly hair holding a kite and skipping. Oh, I had a huge heat feeling throughout my body. Nice.
Wow.
Oh, I love that you guys got love.
Yes.
I got patience, but okay. It's understandable. I understand why I got patience, so it's okay. It's all good. All right, so how are you feeling, Kristen?
I'm doing okay.
Do you have time for like one or two quick we're not doing readings, but just basically quick questions, or I don't know, whatever's coming up. So Lisa says that she's still feeling pain in her chest and it's freaking her out.
Okay, Lisa, my sister, dear my sister. Okay, so let's all do this together. You know how during the day you can have, and this will happen to me, especially if I'm having any kind of pain. Just sit, put your hands over your heart. Lisa, actually they're saying put one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. And know that you're completely embraced in love and protection. So whatever it is, it feels like energies or traumas that you've been holding on to is ready to be, it wants to be released. And I feel resistance in that area because it's also something that keeps us safe. Having like a same pattern, if you understand what I mean, it's a way that like our ego tries to keep us safe in that way. So know that it is safe to release, and asking my sister's guides of the highest to surround Lisa now. In perfect comfort and alignment, allowing this energy to release and allowing source energy to come through and pulsate through your heart center. And just breathe in and breathe out. And the other thing you can do, Lisa, is what they're saying is redirect the energy. So focus on something in the room, maybe pet Kalon or something like that too. So when you redirect your energy, so focusing on one thing, like normally, like I'll focus on my finger and then focus like I'm looking at one of the plants that's outside, then focus on my finger and then focus on something else. So you're like tricking your mind and redirecting the energy too, and allow the guides to work on that for you, okay? So don't freak out.
Awesome, thank you. Yes, there will be a replay going out a little bit later once we're finished, like always. So it'll be via email, and it'll be on YouTube and the podcast for sure. I am recording, yes. So yeah, it'll all be good. It's on YouTube right now as it is. So yes, for sure. Okay, so there's a few people with their hands raised. Kristen, who do you want to ask a question of, or who's calling out to you?
Linda, your name just is glowing to me.
Thank you, Kristen.
Hi,
Thank you very much. Hi. I loved your NDE. Thank you so much for that. I've been studying those quite a bit on YouTube, and yours was just so heartfelt and wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess my question is, do you know spirit guides or anything like that?
Yes, wanting to know your spirit guides?
I'd love that.
Okay. Honestly, it's really funny because I do feel a lot of angelic presence now. Mother Mary and Jesus are coming forward, but there is a man. There's a man behind you. I'm 5'4", so to me, this man feels tall. This feels like a loved one that's with you as well. I want to say grandfather, just like a big connection with that energy. Hold on, there's more coming forward. So I know for me, I would channel source before my NDE and everything. And I always thought, no, I couldn't have channeled him because I had this feeling of unworthiness. So source is very much forward for you. So please understand that you receive guided intuition, and know that that is God coming through you as well. We all have the capacity to channel God. And I feel emotional now. So please know you are so worthy and you are so loved. So Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel are forward for you as well. I do see some others that are in the background. And usually they're in the background because it's like you're waiting to do something. I don't know if it's like, to me, it feels arts and craftsy. Like if you decide that you want to do like an arts and crafts or something like that, these guides will flow through you as you're doing that. So that's what I'm seeing in the background, and that's what they're telling me that they're there for. Because they are I know you asked who your guides are, but they have messages too as they're coming forward. Don't roll your eyes at me, Alara. I know I'm always so long when I do sessions for people. They're saying it's okay to go outside of your comfort zone. Again, they're going back to any kind of unworthiness. Please understand how loved and supported you are, and how you've felt these guides for a very long time. Like, it feels very similar to me. Like, to me, the room always felt crowded, like there were eyes on me, even though I was alone, type of thing. And it can give you the EBGBs, but know that it's them. You can always call upon the archangels of sacred protection if you get nervous, or you can ask them to step away a bit, because they're very excited, and you can ask them to step away outside of your aura, so you may not, because sometimes we can feel anxious with that. But a lot of archangel, a lot of source and Mother Mary as well. But I do feel the circle children for you too.
Maybe my grandchildren. I have little grandchildren. I had 2 of them that came to me in a dream before they were born. And they told me that my daughter had better get busy, or they weren't going to come in. And then they came in 2 different mothers.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And it's interesting because when you were talking, I saw a fleck of white, like a white little fleck of energy, like a sparkle or something. So if you're seeing things like that, these are your guides too. And it feels like the circle children are very active for you, because that specifically says circle children to me. It's like fun little flex of energy, but I feel the circle children for you too. So you can call them in to work with you as well. It's just fun. Just play with their energy and see, okay, Archangel Michael, and, you know, play with his energy, and then Jesus, and, you know, ask each one, okay, circle children coming through and working with you, what they each do for you and how they interact with you throughout the day. Because I'm very big on knowing guides and who they are. I always love to know names, but it annoys me now because they don't give me names as much anymore, which drives me nuts, because I'm like, okay, I'm a human, I need a name. And sometimes they tell me, just call me V or something like that. But interact with them and play with the energies.
Did they say anything about healing? My healing? Working with other people?
Okay, they were very blunt, but when you first asked that, what they said was, use it.
Okay. Okay.
That's the thing.
Thank
You
you.
know, they come forward very kind with it, but when you're talking about healing, they say use it.
Okay.
And a lot of times they say it's I know I stumble through. Like I was attuned to Kundalini Reiki. That was the first healing modality, but I wasn't really taught how to use it, but it's intention based. So I taught myself, and then I asked my guides to come in. So when you're able to, and you're in like a, you know, that kind of calm state where you can say, or even just say at night, because you can ask and they can show you in your dreams, or you might remember it in the morning, but say, guides, I asked, how do I use my healing modalities?
Okay.
Because they're really wanting you to figure it out for yourself, because it is very empowering to know, I learned this and I did this and I channeled how to do it.
Thank you so much, Kristen. You
You're
are
welcome.
wonderful, and I thank you so much. I mean, this has been just a blessing. Alara, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Linda. You should
You're
have a session with Kristen so that you can get even more information, because I know there's so many more questions that you have for her. So many more.
Thank you so much, honey. Both of you.
Thank you. All right. My throat is kind of going off. Anybody else that you want to work with today, Kristen?
Evie, you've had your hand raised, I think, for a while now. I noticed, ask my mom and ask Susan when I started talking with her. She goes, my throat is hinky. And I know you've been talking this whole time too, so that could also be it. But I do something now with the throat chakra. So like expand, because we each help one another with different things. So
absolutely,
I might have given you a frog in your throat.
All right, Evie, you have a question? One question, one.
Yes.
Keep it to one.
Excuse me.
Please.
Thank you so much. May I just comment on that wonderful story you told us about the past life, just the near-death experience. It was just, oh, wow. You are such a storyteller, seriously. And I know that Alara mentioned it, but it's like a book already in the making. Yes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much, Alara. Yes, so my quick question is, what gifts should I now focus on to really complete this plan that I have?
Okay. So what your spiritual team is bringing forward, they brought me right to the heart center. And the heart center to me means clairsentience and feeling. And I remember starting this journey, and I always thought that feeling was like the short straw of the spiritual gifts, because I wanted to see. I wanted it to be clairvoyance, right? But they said, really dive deep into your clairsentient and your feeling, because it is very powerful. And being able to, you can see through feeling. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they come in like different clairs come in through your feeling. And the more you trust it, the more everything else is going to open. That's what they're saying right now. Because they're showing me the feeling, and then they're pulsating my head. So claircognizance, the knowing as well. So really trust yourself. That instinct that comes forward, it's not you're not searching for stuff. It's that first thing that pops into your mind. And is what they're talking about as well. So I hope that that helps
Oh,
a bit.
yes. Thank you so much.
I
Yes.
want to add really quickly. So it's trusting, and then it's actually using it.
Yes.
You know, if you don't use it,
Yes.
it's no point.
Yes.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I thank so much, because I really do feel that I do feel a lot. And when Alara, I said to myself, I bet Alara was teary-eyed at that story. And I was
Oh my
looking
goodness, yes.
I was looking to see, because I sensed that, you know, that energy moving around. So I do sense, but I usually don't really, you know, like say. So hearing Alara said, use it. Yeah, I think that's important.
Very important. Yes. And trusting it. Because I know I never trusted myself. I always believed what everybody else said, and I could never trust Kristen. So this, over the past 7 years of my awakening, this is really trusting myself. And after the NDE, being with Source, and Source, it's the knowing of we really do block ourselves, because it's our mind that's telling us, I can't do this, I'm not special to do this, and all these different things. So one thing that Susan Kennard said to me is, I noticed you talk to yourself in the third person, and I really do, because I was spirit and I was looking at Kristen. And we do lead all of these different lives, and I loved Kristen, and I really wanted to come back to this life because I love her and she has a message to share. So really trust yourself. Because I know I never did. So I'm really starting to realize now, and I can't express that. I hope you feel my energy, everyone, to really trust yourself. What's the worst that can happen? You're not wrong. You're learning how you're interpreting spirit and your own energies. That's all it is. You're learning how you're interpreting. And that's how I look at it. I don't look at it being wrong, if that makes sense.
Thank you. That was brilliant. That trust is essential right now.
Yes.
And I just thank you for bringing that forward, both you and Alara, and for talking to me about the heart-centeredness and the sentience, clairsentience.
And claircognizance.
And
claircognizance.
claircognizance.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alara, for
Yeah.
reminding me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Evie.
Yes.
And I have to say, Kristen, you know, that the piece about trusting yourself and trusting, oh, you said something really brilliant at the very end, and I was like, oh, I had it, and I was like, oh, that's so good. And then I lost it. But it still comes down to trusting yourself, using your gifts, and then whatever else you said. Oh yeah, but the mistakes. It's not mistakes. It's about learning to interpret source, the divine creator, God, etc. I love that. That is what we are doing. We are interpreting, and sometimes we get it wrong, but you know, we're learning, right? So yeah, I also don't believe in mistakes. I believe in we're having different experiences, but I love that part about interpreting source flowing through us, around us, etc.
Yes, and you using your gifts and practicing it. You know, the biggest thing that gives me such anxiety is when there's someone on Instagram, and I'll have to do this. So they cover, use a paper and cover it up and say, what color stone is underneath this? Or what flower do you see underneath this? And you can feel, see, hear, or know what it is. And it's interesting because the one that I did yesterday it was a flower, and I could see the petals, and it was a sunflower. I saw the petals, but I couldn't see what exactly flower it was, but I got the petals right. So play with the energy. Don't ever worry about being wrong. You have to learn how you're interpreting it, and it's through that process that you're able to get faster at it and have more of that confidence. And it really does, it helps. It really helps in your confidence.
And of course, trusting. So, you know, like there are many times I get messages, you know, I see visions during a session. I don't do it like just me sitting here at home, right? But when I'm working with a client, and I will get something, and it's like, well, I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean even? So then I just say it. I just share it, and it always means something to the person. right? And so sometimes if you are working with yourself and you're getting messages and you don't understand, ask for clarification, because it's for you. And it's like, okay, I'm not getting it right now. Maybe I'll get it later. I'll understand it later. But always trust, because they're giving you, as long as the messages are positive, empowering, all that stuff. So, you know, all these messages, sometimes we're trying to figure it out with our conscious mind, our ego, etc. And sometimes we need to drop down into our heart and just receive and feel into it. I'm a feeler too, right? So for me, it was always a clairsentient and a claircognizant that was the strongest. And then when I'm doing a session, the clairaudience and the clairvoyance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because, you know, I always say, like, whatever the client needs, that is what I want to come through. That, you know, that's it. It's like, it's not about me. It's not about what I can see, what I can do, what I can hear. No, it's about what does the client need? Give me that information, right? However it wants to come through. And so that's trusting yourself, trusting your guides, trusting source, and trusting your gifts, right?
Yeah.
So trust is huge. And, you know, and then the confidence comes from doing, right? From doing sessions, from doing work with yourself, practicing, etc. It comes. You got to do it. I mean, I don't want to sound annoyed, but sometimes people, you know, like, have these questions about their gifts, etc. But yeah, okay, well, you got to do it. You know, then you'll get better at it. Then you'll get stronger at it. Then it'll be more clear. Then it'll be more enhanced, right? If you actually work with it. If you don't, then no, it'll be just like a trickle.
Yes. Yep. And I, like I said earlier, I procrastinate out of fear. So out of fear that I'm not good enough, or it's not right, I'm wrong. I'm not making an impact.
Or I'm going to
No.
make a mistake, and then, you know, this
Yeah.
do something wrong for this poor person, you know, kind of thing. You know, it's like, yeah, I totally get that.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. But don't procrastinate. Just have faith and trust, and know that there are so many people out there who are needing and wanting, looking for that information that's going to come through your gifts.
Yes. The more you
Right?
trust them, the more they turn into superpowers. I promise you. The more I leaned into my clairsentience, I realized how powerful that it was. And I really didn't know the depths of, you know, when you first awaken, it's the surface level. You see, hear, feel, and know. But when you really lean into these gifts, more opens up and you really turn it into a superpower. And
Yeah, absolutely.
it's beautiful and amazing. So trust yourself, because you are all amazing and you all have gifts, every single one.
Exactly. All right. I think we are over time, Kristen. So I was going to ask you if you had any last words of wisdom, but, you know, all of the whole call was filled with wisdom, right? There was like, it was like so brilliant and so wonderful and so needed and so relevant. But is there any last message that the guide source would like to share with us?
So the biggest thing for me in finding my joy was being of service to others and doing things for others. I found so much joy in that, and doing something each day. So holding the door open for someone or something like that. And switching things up is what they're saying too. So this sounds very basic, but this is very true for me. Switching things up, switching your environment, not having the same habits, having practices. Yes. You know, you meditate and then you do yoga, or, you know, that type of thing. That's beautiful. Writing in a journal, but maybe you're being nudged to draw or to paint. Maybe you go over here and you do a painting party with other people. Maybe you go with friends and you have like those cooking places that you go to. Do things out of the ordinary, switch things up, move the energy around. Be more playful in your life. It brings more joy. It makes you not feel as stagnant. So take it from me, I'm not able to travel at this time because of my heart issues. So there's only a certain radius I can do. So I have friends that will come visit me here, but I'm thrilled when I'm able to go out to different places and have different experiences. There's friends of ours that own this restaurant, and you can bowl there and do air hockey and throw hatchets and like all these video games, everything. So it's so much fun because it's close, it's one-stop shop type of thing. And it, you know, changes up my routine and I'm able to bring out that child in me as well. So don't be afraid to change things up. We can be such creatures of habit. And above all else, put your hands on your heart and know how divinely loved you are, that every beat of that heart, no matter how fast like mine is or slow, you are so connected and it is right there all the time. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or you can't handle it and why is this happening, go right to your heart space and say, I got this, because you do, and you have such loving support. All we need to do is ask. Remember to ask and allow that answer to come in and know that you can receive it, because you are made of stardust. We are all parts of Source. Source took pieces of himself and birthed each of us. That's who we are at our core. So know that you are so loved and supported. And I thank you so much for being here, for listening to my story. And I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you, Alara.
Oh, thank you so much, Kristen. This was beautiful.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Lee,
Oh.
yeah.
Can you just check the chat real quick? Because this is a huge request.
There's something, Lisa's huge request from all. So please, a friend from LWH, I don't know what that means, where I worked a while ago, had a family tragedy. His daughter-in-law was in a car accident and their daughter was killed. Oh my goodness. And she is in serious condition. I definitely will send prayers and support and blessings to that family for sure.
Yes. And please remember me as that sun with all of the lights. Prayers work. Love works. I could hear everybody. I could go to that person if I wanted to, although I don't have the memory of that, but I could hear all the whispers. Prayers do work. So sending that love, sending healing to that higher self of everyone as well. So sending so much love.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're all going to be sending love and blessings and prayers to that family and for the person who has passed as well. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that, Lisa. And thank you everybody for being on the call with us, for your questions, for your feedback in the chat. It's been just a brilliant, brilliant call. And thank you, Kristen, for sharing your story, being so vulnerable. And we're so glad that you're back and you have a lot of work to do still. So, you know, we definitely need your gifts and you know what you're going to be sharing with all of us. So thank you. And I'm looking forward to that book. There's definitely a book there, and know it. We all know it. So it's going to be fabulous. So thank you so much, everyone. The recording will be out shortly. Please do watch again or listen again. Okay, please, and do that healing process again. If you can do it lying down, that'd be awesome. I think I'm going to do it again lying down, because that was great. Because all the wisdom, you know, and everything that we receive. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all so much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. It was
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you, Alara.
Thank you, Kristen.
Bye.